Most overnight successes, in fact, many significant successes, take at least 5 years. Budget your life accordingly. Kevin Kelly. My friends, however long it takes you to master these charts, first, it is loads of fun. I enjoy trading in the stock market each and every day. It is always exciting and interesting. And when you get good at this, it will make up for all the practice time you put in many times over. What we are learning to do is to follow the trends, follow price movement. Whatever they say out there in the world, we don't really care about. I don't listen to any of these financial news networks. I don't have them telling me what the market is going to do because they don't know. And their experts say one thing one day, one thing the next, and never take responsibility for any of the stuff they tell you that's wrong, ever. They never. Don't put them back on the show because they were 180 degrees wrong last year or last month. So let's talk about price movement and what's actually going on. Second day of some up movement. We'll look at the half-day charts when we get there, or we can take a glance at it now. You can see where things hammered down on Thursday and then popped up some Thursday afternoon and up on Friday. Does that mean everything in the world has changed? No, it doesn't. Why? Because our weekly chart in stocks is still down. We see a long wick on the bottom where there was somewhat of a recovery, but still price percent oscillators going down, derivative oscillator quite negative. Go to the 2-day chart. You can see we have a green spinning top. Price percent oscillators negative. Is a ways away from the red signal line. Derivative oscillator is a little less than flat, but still negative. And like I just showed you on the half-day chart, we can see where that down movement after things crashed Thursday morning got some good news, moved up some on Friday again. Up nicely, 2.21% on the S&P, pushing through that prior 2-day trend line on the half-day chart. But that doesn't mean that everything is over. We'll continue to watch. We'll wait. We'll see. We'll follow this price movement where it leads us. That's where we are on the S&P. By the way, Patreon members, don't forget our live question and answer call-in session this Wednesday, 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. You have in your emails all the information for signing in. Look at the one I sent you last night regarding the weekly vertical crossovers. Most of them, as you saw, were down moves. Now, let's look at the Qs, the Nasdaq 100. What do we have going on there? We see that the price percent oscillator still moving down, lost a little bit of that downward angle. Derivative oscillator losing downward momentum, still very negative. Big red down candle, price well below the weekly trend line. We look at the 2-day. It is still negative. The derivative oscillator is still negative. We have a little green spinning top sitting right there on the 2-day trend line. First day of this latest 2-day candle. Half day crossed over in the morning, heading up. We have a day and a half of up movement, still below the weekly, push through the 2-day on that half-day chart. We're watching that. We're paying attention. Got a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world and a lot of downward pressure still on these markets. People say, wait a minute, Tom, this makes no sense. How's the market going up with all these crazy things going on? It's the market. We follow the price movement. We don't ask why. We just follow the trend. That's what we do. We pay attention to what is actually happening, not what they're saying on the news, but what's happening with prices. And we can invariably, over and over again, accurately chart these markets. When things don't work our way, what do? We cut our losses and we wait for the next opportunity to maximize gains. If you minimize losses and maximize gains, you don't have to win that often. But if you maximize losses and minimize gains, you're going to get hammered. That's what you learn by doing. And that's why we're here every day practicing this stuff, learning it by doing it. Let's talk about 20-year bonds, up just a little bit for the day, 0.07%. Still lots of downward pressure on bonds. Price percent oscillator stroking down. Derivative oscillator negative, losing a little bit of negative momentum. Green spinning top ending up the week. Price below that weekly trend line. right there above the 2-day on this weekly chart. And of course, that green spinning top, it's a solid green spinning top, means indecision. It's still tending down. That's a slowdown in the down movement. What's up with the 2-day? Not managed to cross over yet, still negative. Derivative oscillator just barely holding on to a little bit of negativity. Red down Heikin Ashi candlestick for the day, even though it was up just a little bit below that weekly trend line, just above the 2-day on that 2-day chart. Half day, we can see where things had peaked and they peaked on, what was that, Tuesday? Yep, Tuesday afternoon. Peaked again on Thursday morning, and then we just sort of see that downward pressure. Price percent oscillators positive and flat. Derivative oscillators already gone negative. That's where we are on bonds. So again, lots of downward pressure still on bonds, lots of downward pressure still on stocks. What about gold? Gold down for the day, our only downer for the day, 0.33%, but a nice big green up candle. You can see where it lost a lot of that momentum over the week, but, well, a lot of that price over the week. And price percent oscillator nonetheless still heading up. Price is well above that weekly trend line. Derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. 2-day chart, we can see there's where things topped and all that slowed down. We have a solid red down candle that's forming there. A little one so far. First day of the latest 2-day candle right there on that 2-day trend line. So we'll keep an eye on it. See how this new week starts. Has gold topped? Is it rolling over, going down? Well, still positive on the weekly and the 2-day. That 2-day is flattening. That's on the price percent oscillator. Derivative oscillators losing a little bit of momentum now after building it for many days. So we'll keep an eye, see how that 2-day works out on Monday. And we can see where things peaked in gold on Thursday morning. And then when the market, we saw things sort of turn around in the market. Gold turned around at that time as the market went up. Gold went down, crossing over, going down in the morning on this half-day chart on Friday. And then not quite as much down in the afternoon, recovering some of that again. Going down for the day, just 0.33%. So we'll watch as gold moves into this next week, how it develops. Now, Bitcoin. We talked about sort of the dilemma that the New York Stock Exchange Bitcoin Index puts us in because it only reports, just briefly each day. And it's showing a gain of 10.03%. Now, if you add in yesterday and today, okay, if we look at something like the Bitcoin futures, then of course the problem with this, we don't have a long-term chart on this, but we'll use this more to get an idea. We look at the Bitcoin futures are up for the day about 1.8% to 1.9%. Grayscale Bitcoin up 2.20, so somewhere around 2%, not a full 10%. But what do we see for the week? Still a down week in Bitcoin. Got a red down candle. Price percent oscillator still negative and heading down. Derivative oscillator negative and losing downward momentum. That comes from the oscillation with those prior weeks trying to push up some. Nice big gaining week back on the week ending the 11th of February, slowing down the week ending the 18th of February, and then that reversal the week ending today, the 25th of February. So let's move on to the 2-day. We can see where the 2-day was heading to a crossover and bouncing off, which is sweet. So far, first day of this latest 2-day candle, we'll keep an eye on things and just see. Now, if we look at on this 2-day chart, you can see that on the Van Eck Bitcoin strategy, that's the ETF that is the futures ETF in Bitcoin. And we can see that, yes, none of those are crossing over. What about Grayscale? Nope, none of them did. So again, close to crossing over, did not occur. Green spinning top. Again, that's a slowdown in the down movement, which I know the Bitcoin folks are glad to see. Bitcoin's nowhere near out of the woods. What do we see on the half day? We see up in the morning and the after, well, we'll just say up throughout the day. Let's delve into that a little deeper in one of these. There we go. You can see it was up in the morning and shaved off some of that upward movement in the afternoon. So that's where we are on all of our charts. The two indexes, the S&P 500, Nasdaq 100, 20-year bonds, gold, and of course, Bitcoin. My friends, thank you so much for being with me. If you're not a Patreon member and want to become one, do it. Follow the link in the show notes to our Patreon page. We have so much to offer to you. Of course, next week, the live question and answer call-in session. We love to get your questions. We love to know about the stocks and ETFs. You're interested in us helping you backtrack at any of the 3 Patreon levels. You can participate in that call. Plus, what else do you get? You get on Wednesdays our Charting Crypto, where we go over the top 10 cryptocurrencies. We'll also throw in at times crypto ETFs. It's lots of fun. We get that to you every Wednesday. And of course, Thursday, what everybody holds their breath and waits for, the 20 weekly vertical crossovers. We endeavor to give you 10 going up, 10 going down. Sometimes there's really not enough going up or down. So like last night, we put out 18 down, 2 up. So again, lots of downward pressure in the market, but we always endeavor to try to find 20 of those for you, and hopefully you'll be practice trading 1 or 2 of those on Friday. That's where we are, folks. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.